Hello, good morning. Welcome to the lecture on the admirable Crichton by J.M. Barrie. Now, in today's lecture, the topics are characterization and themes in the drama The Admirable Crichton. Now, let us have an analysis about the dramaturgy of the play. That is, the plot of the play can be divided into 4 acts. So, in the first act, the dramatist introduces the action, which is the exposition, where the play opens up in Loam Hall in London, and the major characters are introduced. And in the second act, the exposition continues, the plot gets unraveled, and there is a rising of tension when the characters, they mount on the ship, they board on the ship and they go on a voyage. So the second act continues with the exposition and leads the readers and the audience into the seriousness of the plot when the characters board and they set sail. And the third act, which is in which the plot reaches the climax, it is the peak of the action of the play in which the ship undergoes wreckage, and the characters, the dramatis personae, they struggle for their life, and finally they reach the shore of the uninhabited island. And the final act, which is the denouement, where in which they luckily find a ship which take them home, and they board on the ship and they leave the uninhabited island happily and they reach London. So, in continuation of the lecture, the previous lecture, in which the storyline was discussed in detail. So, in today's lecture, I am analyzing the dramaturgy and the plot and the characterization of the play. So, the play, the 4 acts of the play, as I said already, it has been divided into denouement, that is exposition, unraveling, climax, and denouement. Now, the following are the dramatis personae, the significant dramatis personae in the play. The first one is Sir Loam, who is the aristocrat in Loam Hall in London, and who is the master in Loam Hall, and his niece, Lady Mary, Agatha, and Catherine, the 3 beautiful ladies in Loam Hall who add beauty and solace to the lonely Sir Loam. And the Crichton, the master in the house, Crichton is the servant in the house, the butler who who caters to the need of every individual in the Loam Hall. And dramatis personae in the play includes a few more minor characters who had already been mentioned in the previous lecture. Now I move on to talk about the reversal in the plot in the play The Admirable Crichton. Now the reversal in the plot is, it occurs when the characters, they board the ship and they reach the uninhabited island. So there is a complete reversal in the nature of the characters, the way they behave and the way they hold themselves when they are in London and when they move on, or when they get struck, when they get stranded in the uninhabited island. Now, in the Loam Hall in the city of London, Sir Loam is the master and he lords over the house, and the ladies Catherine, Lady Mary, Agatha, they obey, they hold him in high position even though they are independent. They feel they move around independently, they move around with their dignity and their identity, but they respect Sir Loam for his stature, they respect Sir Loam for the position that he holds in the court, and they respect Sir Loam for the dignity that he has as an uncle for them. And Sir Loam, he is an accommodative and an elderly stature who's like a godfather for the 3 ladies in Loam Hall. And the servant Crichton, the butler Crichton, he holds Sir Loam in the highest regard, and he does his duty as a servant, and he moves around, and he communicates the news, and he conveys the news between the uncle and the nieces, and he also moves easily around with Ernest and the ladies in the neighborhood, Miss Fleury, and the servants of the house. So Crichton does his duty contently in his, as a servant and as a person who happily does his duty in the position that is offered for him. And when the characters, they reach the uninhabited island, when they get stranded and when they reach the uninhabited island, and there is no hole for them, there is no, the palace is not anymore left for them in the island, and they are just by themselves, all alone to explore the island. The crew, Sir Loam and Crichton and the ladies and Ernest, the crew which are left all by themselves in the island, they explore the island, they search for and they try to explore and they try to land themselves upon the island, and they may try to make themselves comfortable, they try to make their lives easier and tolerable in the island. And when they explore and stabilize their lives in the island, and it is not Sir Loam but Crichton who takes upon the lead role. And Crichton, as a worker who knows the tricks of his trade, he takes upon the position of leadership, and he not only does it in a plausible way, but he also does it in a way which is in a meticulous way, and he is looked upon like a leader who understands the struggles of the leader, who understands the trauma and shock of the individuals, the leader who can very well sympathize with the characters, the characters left in the lurch position when they are in the island, and he takes good care of them, and he caters food for them. He works not only as a leader but also he is down to earth, and he caters food for them and he fends for them, and he knows everything on the island. He is the first one, and he is proactive, and he gets to know everything on the island, and he makes his crew members stay happy and comfortable on the island through his efforts and through his foresightedness and through his leadership and through his skills and through his mastery over the tricks of the trade. And that is a reversal in the plot, the reversal not only of the setting, not only of the characters, but also of the sociological position of the dramatis personae when they reach the uninhabited island. Now, Crichton as a servant and Crichton as a leader, these are the two, the bipartite roles which Crichton takes when he moves on from London to the uninhabited island. So from being a servant in Loam Hall, he becomes a leader in the island, and as a servant in the Loam Hall, he was the most comfortable, and he knew everything. He was very sure of himself, and he was comfortable not only serving his master, not only moving around with the ladies of the house, not only being the chief butler of the house, but also moving about freely and getting the acclaim of everyone in the house. But in the uninhabited island, Crichton assumes the role of a leader in a very natural way, and he proves that he is a leader by nature, and the crew members, they depend upon his leadership. They ask more about his leadership. They care for, they expect that he does more in the role of a leader, and his knowledge about the island is impeccable, and his knowledge about his teammates and his concern for his teammates is impeccable, and his enthusiasm as a leader finds no bound, and his leadership qualities are found to its extreme, found to its best in the island when the team members look upon him and they get complete satisfaction from Crichton as a leader. Now the lady characters in the play, Lady Mary and Miss Fleury. Lady Mary as the chief of, or the eldest of the nieces, she assumes a role of a mother-like role which she assumes, and she gives over the sisters Catherine and Agatha. And Miss Fleury, who is a servant, Miss Fleury, who is as a relative to the nieces, she completely accepts Lady Mary as as a motherly niece, as a motherly person who is the smartest and who is the most caring. And she's not only, Lady Mary is not only accepted to be beautiful and graceful, but she is also a wondersome and gentle woman who is sure and who knows what to expect from Loam and what to expect from Crichton, and she accepts the leadership of Crichton in the island, even though she is completely acknowledging the position of Crichton as she is completely acknowledging the position of Lord Loam as the godfatherly uncle. She is also applauding the leadership position of Crichton. And Miss Fleury is a good, Miss Fleury gives her presence as a good one and a kind one and a lovable go-between, a lovable young woman who benigns the company with her presence, and who is lovable, and whose presence make the company cheerful. The following are some of the themes which are dominantly present in the plot of the play. The theme of aristocracy, which is very much prevalent, which is very much pronounced in Loam Hall in London, even though it was foregrounded as well as backgrounded in the Loam Hall. And the role of master, the relationship of master and servant, the relationship of Loam as master and Crichton as servant, and later the reversal of roles of Crichton and Loam. There is Loam as a servant and Crichton as master. So then another theme in the play is the theme of exploration. The theme of exploration is, when left on the uninhabited island, the crew members, they try to explore the island on their own under the leadership of Crichton, and exploration of nature, exploration of new spaces by mankind is another dominant theme in the play. And the theme of exploration, it goes to such an extent that the crew members, they spend their time of the 2 months. They spend their time of 2 months on the island with not even a tinge of desertion, not with a sense of desertion, but with an attitude of enthusiasm, but with an attitude of exploration. So they move. Another theme in the play is the theme of voyage and travel. So the theme of voyage, it's prevalent always in the backdrop of the play. The theme of voyage is prevalent as hovering at the backdrop of the play. It is not, the characters they are always in a state of waiting, they are always in a state of expectation, expecting a vessel to come and take them aboard to London. So voyage was initially, in the first act, it was a welcome, it was a theme of hope, in which the characters, they expect to spend their time happily on the ship, whereas in the second and the third acts, voyage and the travel becomes something something that has cheated them off, something that has deceived them off in a shore which is not known, voyage which has left them off in a shore which is not known, and there is always an expectation of a sense of a ship arriving. There is always a sense of expectation of a vessel which will come to the rescue, whereas there is always a sense of fear about a sense for a vessel to come and save them on board or traveling to the city of London. And so that is the theme of voyage and travel, with the intensity of hope, expectation, with the intensity of cheer and darkness. And the next theme in the play is the theme of urbanity, the theme of urbanness, city as a theme, and the effort to reinstate the urban life in the island. The trend of life in the city of London, it is a hovering theme in the play, where Sir Loam talks about, in Loam Hall, he talks about the prevailing trends in the city of London. And when the crew, they stay in the island, in the uninhabited island, they talk about in the uninhabited island, they talk about they want to bring back the life which they had been leading in the city of London. They want to reinstate, they want the same level of comfort, they want to build the same level of comfort when they are in the island. So there is always an expectation of a ship to arrive and take them on board in the play The Admirable Crichton in the uninhabited island, till the uninhabited island becomes an island of habitation, a happy island where the characters are ready to move on board to the city of London. Now, the first theme is the theme of lordship in London, where Sir Loam lords over the house, and he is one of the aristocrats. He is one of the knights who protects the rules of aristocracy, not only in Sir Loam, but also, not only in the Loam Hall, but also in the city of London. His image as an aristocrat, his role as an aristocrat, and then it gets reversed in the uninhabited island when they meet desolation and when they search for self in the desert. And the theme of master and servant, Crichton as a master and Sir Loam as a servant in the uninhabited island, where it was just the opposite in the city of London. And the theme of exploration, when that crew members when they are happy about building a hut for themselves, and when they come together, when they cook, and when they talk about when they cook dishes under the leadership of Crichton. And exploration always carries with it the theme of isolation, when all that is left for themselves is the island, and where the crew members, they need to search and they need to find out and they need to satisfy their urge for reinstating urbanity in the uninhabited island. Then the theme of voyage and travel, which is a lurking theme throughout the play. The theme of urbanity, which is contrasted with the nomadic life in the uninhabited island. And these are the themes and the characterization and the dramatis personae and plot in the play The Admirable Crichton. Thank you.